So obviously, you've seen all this stuff about Hamas, Israel, Iran, United States. And what you really need to know when you're seeing this stuff, okay? And I've made tons of videos about this. You're seeing a cult that controls the whole world, controlling the whole world. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing a cult that I call the Black Death cult that's controlling the whole world. And this is how they're doing it, with violence. That's what you're seeing. You're seeing an immense amount of violence because the Black Death cult has engineered this whole world that you're living in, I'm living in, everybody on the planet is basically living in. Okay? Very few exceptions. Like some tribe deep in Brazil, some tribe on some island, in the middle of nowhere that's never been contacted. Those are the only people that are not being controlled by this cult. Very small cult of people that are controlling the whole world through violence and threats of violence and death. That's what you're seeing. Right here, cuffed and stuffed. I'm just showing you this right here is something that just came up, cuffed and stuffed. This cop right here is part of the Black Death cult. If you don't listen to what he says, he'll hurt you, he'll kill you. That's how they operate. That's how they operate. If you understand the world you're living in, you're not living in a world of freedom. You're not living in a world of choice. You're not living in a world of peace. We have these ideas of, brotherhood and spirituality and peace, and we're all going to get along, and community and cooperation and humanity. And no, no, no. None of that runs the world. None of that runs the world. The people that run the world act like this. If you don't do exactly what I tell you to do, I'm going to hurt you. If you don't do what I tell you to do after I hurt you, I'm going to kill you. Okay? That's it. Lindsey Graham, right? Perfect example. See, here's a guy you think in your mind, he's an elected official. He's a good guy. You may not like him, but you've elected officials. So you think elected officials are good people. You think they're here to watch out for you. You think that elected officials serve the people. You think that elected officials try to do the right thing. You think that elected officials are here for you. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. If you never elected one of these officials, guess what would happen? They would be appointed. You'd still have them. They'd still be over you telling you what to do. They would just be appointed. Like the senator in California that died. Another one gets appointed. So if you didn't vote, right? Nobody voted. Let's say everybody voted. Nobody voted, right? Literally nobody, including the senator themselves, won't get appointed. Because if you think about it, right, the majority wins. So that means if one senator who's running, guy who's running for senator has 8 family members, another guy who's running for senator has 10 family members that are all eligible to vote, and then not one of the population votes except those 2 people in their family, the guy with 10 votes wins. The majority wins. That means if one guy running for Senate gets 1 vote and another guy gets 0 votes, he wins with 1 vote. That's all it takes. 1 vote to win an election. The election is a sham. Elections are a complete sham. They're a complete ruse to make you believe somehow you have some kind of power. So you think that this senator, you think this senator serves you? You think this senator is there for you? You think this senator is there for Americans? You think this senator is there to help America? Listen to what he says. Russians are dying. Best money we've spent. This is a direct quote. Russians are dying. Best money we've ever spent. So, a United States senator, and he's in the Black Death cult, 100%. Every senator is in the Black Death cult directly. The Black Death cult's a very small group of people. Okay, it's not big. How many senators are there? 100. That's a small group of people when you're talking about 350 million, 375 million people in America, and you have 100 senators. That's a very exclusive group, and they're cult members. They're in a cult. They are a cult. They are part of the Black Death cult, which, like I said, it controls the whole globe. These people control the whole globe. Anyway, one of these Black Death cult members, Lindsey Graham, says Russians are dying. Best money we've spent. Think about it. The best money this guy's ever spent is money to kill people. The best money we've ever spent, meaning your and my money, he ever spent was to kill people. Notice he didn't say, well, there was a water crisis in Jackson, Mississippi, and people were not feeling good, and the community was real down, and so they needed $2 billion to fix their water system. So we gave them $4 billion. We fixed their water system, and they have enough money in the bank to keep it going for 50 more years. So the people in Jackson, Mississippi are getting clean water and have some of the best water in the country, and they will for the next 50 years. Best money we ever spent. Notice he didn't say, 30% of kids in this country are food insecure. And we created a fund here in the Senate. We created a fund out of taxpayer money that sets aside $5 billion. Hold on a second. They spent 110 in Ukraine, $110 billion. We set aside $100 billion for children in this country. So anytime they're hungry, their parents can bring them to any number of centers. We can also deliver you food. And we make sure that every kid, that there's not one kid in America that goes uh, to bed hungry. We did that with your money, and that's the best money we ever spent. Best money we ever spent, knowing that kids are not going to go to bed hungry. No, he says the best money we ever spent is money to kill Russians, to kill people. Best money we ever spent to kill people. And this country spends $800 billion a year coming up with weapons of death. See, the Black Death cult are the ones who created weaponry. The Black Death cult are the ones who created killing machines. Think about how many ways that these people have invented to kill you. I mean, think about it. How many ways does the Black Death cult have to kill you? I mean, it's insane. It's literally insane to spend this much money and this much time coming up with weapons to kill people, not to help people, not to feed people, not to make people wealthy, not to make people comfortable, not to make people safe, not to make people prosperous, not to make people healthier, to kill you, to kill people. They have spent literally trillions of dollars to kill people, to come up with ways to kill people. And here's Lindsey The only way that we're going to keep this war from escalating is to hold Hamas and Iran accountable. It is now time to take the war to the Ayatollah's backyard. So this guy, he's not happy just killing Russians. Lindsey Graham's not happy just killing Russians. Lindsey Graham wants to now go to Iran and kill people in Iran. Lindsey Graham wants to go and kill people in Iran. He wants to go kill Russians. He also said, as far as the Gaza Strip goes and Hamas, level it, raise it, kill everybody in there. Raise it, which literally means knock every building down in Gaza. There's 2 million people there, right? 2 million people. Lindsey Graham says raise it with zero regards for those people. And that brings me to the next point, which is the Black Death cult created this idea of good and evil. So you could be evil and they could be good. Because once the Black Death cult identifies you as evil, then guess what? Anything they do to you is justifiable. The person's evil. Here's Glenn Beck. See, this is evil. So now anything that the Black Death cult does to you is justifiable because you are evil. And you see this when they're talking about, this guy's talking about children found butchered, right? And they're talking about babies being beheaded. Babies had been decapitated. So these monsters, these horrible people, these terrorists, these people, they've decapitated babies. They're evil. Now, therefore, I can go do anything I want to them. So if I end up, killing, 5, 10,000 innocent people, it's okay. They decapitated babies. They're evil. Whatever I do now is justified because you decapitated a baby. So the Black Death cult makes people evil so they can go and kill them. Anything I do is justifiable now. We created the term evil to describe you. So now when we call you evil, we're going to wipe you out. In America, right? When in this country, when we first came in and there was Native Americans, guess what happened to them? They got wiped out. If we put a farm on their land, right? Their land they've been on for thousands of years, a farm shows up there, and then these natives attack this farm. They're evil. Look what they did. All we were doing was farming. That's all we were doing. We were just out there farming, and we had our little house, and we had our family, and we had our horses. And these savages, these brutes, these terrorists came in and burned the farm down. Can you imagine? All we're doing is planting food and they burn a farm. They're evil. Boy, they're evil. We got to get rid of them. They're evil. I personally do not believe that there was babies decapitated. Okay. Now there may have been, and it's horrible. I mean, even just killing a baby is horrible. Killing anybody's horrible. Okay. But I'm thinking, the Black Death cult was also notorious liars. Think about, right? I told you all the senators are Black Death cult members. Think about how many senators have lied. There's not one senator in the Senate right now that has not lied to the public in some way, shape, or form about something. Politicians are liars. And that's one of the mark of the Black Death cult is they lie about anything. Because once again, they're good. They're good people. They're doing the right thing. So they can lie to you because we're good. We're doing the right thing. So we can do anything we want to get what we want. Like, for instance, remember how when this girl came up in front of some court and talked about Iraqis pulling babies out of incubators? Remember that? Baby incubator lie. Incubator allegations following the liberation of Kuwait in March 1991. Remember that they lied. This girl came in front of, read this statement in front of, testified in Congress that Iraqis came in and pulled babies out of incubators. I mean, what's going to get you more upset than somebody telling you they pulled babies out of an incubator? I mean, that's harsh. I mean, doesn't that make your blood boil? Somebody pulled a baby out of an incubator so they could take the incubator for themselves. I mean, that's horrible. So, of course, once again, the people who are doing this are what? Evil. So we're going to kill them. We're going to go in and kill them. We got every right. Now they pull babies out of incubators. Guess what? No babies got pulled out of incubators. It was a lie. It was a complete lie. And not only that, but who else lied? Colin Powell lied. Colin Powell lied in front of the whole world and said, oh, well, Iraq has WMDs, weapons of mass destruction. Was reading off a paper, was in front of a big, meeting of people, important people, Black Death Cult people, and said, well, they got weapons of mass destruction, so we can go in there and do anything we want to them. Look at these people. It was a lie. It was a complete lie. So now, why? So once again, Black Death Cult members will lie, and Colin Powell is in the Black Death Cult. 100% he's in it. Let me tell you how you can tell they're in it. They swear themselves in. They swear allegiance to the cult. That's how you know they're 100% Black Death Cult. If anybody, if they've taken an oath, okay, they're in the Black Death Cult. So you have police officers taking oath. You have Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines taking oaths. You have politicians taking oaths. You have local officials taking oaths. All these judges, they're all in it. This oath, when you raise your right hand up and you swear, you are involving yourself in an ancient tradition of secrecy, right? Because back in the day where they met in a cave or they met in a room, in a back room, or they met somewhere where you and I were not allowed, they all swore to each other that they would keep their secret, that they would enact their plan, that they were the only ones that would know what would happen. And they swore it to each other. That's what they're doing when they take an oath. They're swearing to each other that we stand together. We're in this together. It's us against them. They are not in our group. We are superior to them. We're better than them. We know what's right. We know what's good. They don't. And we are going to enact whatever we want to do. We're going to do it. And we're always going to stay true to each other. For cops who kill, special Supreme Court protection. Why? Because they're in the cult. The cops are in the cult, and the judges are in the cult. So when the cops go and kill you, right? When the cops violence you, remember what I said? The Black Death Cult operates on two principles: violence and death. They threaten you with violence and they kill you. So when a cop uses violence against you and kills you, Supreme Court, any court goes, hey, wasn't his fault. No, that's what he's hired to do. That's what we want him to do. That's what he's there for. He's there to hurt you. A cop is there to hurt you. A cop is there to kill you. A cop is not there to help you. No cop is there to help you. Once again, the Black Death cult lie, right? Cops are here to help you. Cops are here to serve the community. Cops are here to be here when you need them. If you've ever tried to call a cop to help you, you'll find out how much they actually help you. One of my ex-girlfriend's car got stolen one time, and she called the detectives at the station. Guess what they told her? Yeah, sorry about that. This is an actual real life situation. This is not a TV show where the cop comes and, finds the guy. No. Well, we're sorry you got your car stolen, ma'am. Yeah, we'll take down the license plate number, and if we happen to see it, we'll let you know. That's it. There was no search. There was no investigation. There was no statement taken. There was no leads followed. There was no surveillance footage found. Nothing. Sorry about that, ma'am. Yeah. Cops are not here to help you. And these guys are all in it together. They're all in it together. They're all in it. All these guys are in it together. And it's a very small number of people that form this cult, the Black Death cult. Okay? So if you look at Israel and you look at Hamas, Israel, first off, the first thing you have to understand is there is no Israel. Okay? There is no Israel. There is no America. There is no Palestine. There are people that call themselves the American government. There are people that call themselves the Israeli government. There are people that call themselves the state of Palestine. There are people that call themselves the state of Germany. And you're doing yourself a disservice when you say to yourself, oh, Israel's going into the Gaza Strip and they're going to. No, Israel's not going in. People who call themselves Israel and people who call themselves citizens of Israel are going to go kill other people. And it shows you how the Black Death cult operates. If you don't listen to exactly what we say, now this is what Israel's saying. Israel's saying, here's a line, right? This side of the line is Israel. That side of the line is Gaza. You stay over there. If you come over here, we're going to hurt you. If anybody comes into Israel that we don't want in Israel, we're going to hurt them. We're going to kill them possibly. And it's been done thousands and thousands of times. Tens of thousands of times they've killed Palestinians. Thousands and thousands of times. For being in their country. For doing things on their land. Okay, so now how do you create a country? How do you do it? You draw imaginary lines on a map, right? You draw imaginary lines on the ground and you go, this side's us, that side's you. If you come over here, we're going to hurt you. That's how the Black Death cult has created these countries. That's how the Black Death cult has created these states. That's how the Black Death cult has created these regions. Is through imaginary lines that don't exist in reality. They don't exist. Look on the ground and show me physically where Israel is. Look on the ground and show me. Let's see here. Right here. Look on the ground and show me where these lines are. Where are these lines on the ground? Where is this line on the ground? It ain't on the ground. Where is this line on the ground? It ain't on the ground. Where is this line on the ground? It ain't on the ground. It's it's a conceptual idea that you can only draw on a map. You can only draw this line and call this Egypt and call this Israel on a map. This line doesn't exist in reality. If you walk out, you cannot find this line anywhere. But guess what? The people who call themselves Israel do. They build a fence to show you where the line is. Look, now we built a fence. Now look at this. Now, if you cross this fence, we're going to hurt you. And if there's no fence there, they just go, see this line? They put up a sign and they go, if you cross here, we're going to hurt you. So how was Israel, Jordan, Egypt, how were any of these countries created? Through violence. Through violence. How was any state in our country created? Through violence. How are any of these territories in this whole world created? Through violence. Because if you don't listen to the people who created these lines, and you don't listen to the people who are claiming that these lines indicate they can do whatever they want within these lines, you will be hurt or you will be killed. Period. Like, for instance, let's say, in Egypt or Jordan or one of these extreme Syria, one of these places, if you're gay, they'll kill you. In certain Middle Eastern countries, if you don't act the way they want you to act, you're straight, heterosexual, if you're gay, they will kill you. That's just one example. Like there's, what is it? Saudi Arabia, Jordan, wherever these people, if a woman doesn't go out completely covered, they'll arrest her. And they'll arrest you because it's your responsibility to keep her covered. In other words, if you don't act the way we want you to act, we're going to hurt you or we're going to kill you. That's the Black Death cult. That's the Black Death cult. So if you're trying to make heads or tails of the whole world, it really comes down to one thing. The world was created as you see it, right? As you see Jordan, Egypt, Israel, Gaza, United States of America, Germany, France, Spain, Canada, all these things that you think you see were created by the Black Death cult. Created by a very small group of people. Okay? And they control all of their territory, they control all of their ideas, they control everything around them through threats of violence and death. So they control the whole world through violence and death. So that's all you're ever going to see from these people is people like Lindsey Graham saying, kill everybody. Kill Russians, kill Syrians, kill Iranians, wipe out the Gaza Strip. We don't care. He's never going to have any answer. And anybody in the Black Death cult, as long as they rule the world, are never going to have any answer except hurt them or kill them. That's it. Because that's how they made the world. That's how they created this world. That's how they created these boundaries. That's how they created these quote unquote countries that, like I said, only exist conceptually. This map is not land. This map is a conceptual idea of territory. This is not actual physical soil. This is not actual physical land. There are no markings on this physical land. These are ideas that have been created by this cult. And man, the sooner, and you may live your whole life never understanding that or never knowing it, and it won't make any difference because they're controlling you so heavily that even if you know they're there, and even if you know their means of control, you can't escape it. So anyway, if you're looking at this war, this quote unquote war between Israel and Palestine, or these uprisings in the Middle East, whatever you want to call it. It is Black Death cult, 100% operating with their means of operation, which are violence and death.